First and foremost, good afternoon, Adam Johnson.
Good afternoon.
How are you feeling today?
I'm good. Yeah, it's a short week. There's a lot to pack in into a short week.
So let's start off with actually what your actual title and role is within Nokia.
Sure. So I am the marketing director for Nokia for the UK and Ireland. Obviously, Nokia UK and Ireland is now part of Microsoft. So my kind of key role really is to drive kind of demand for Lumia devices and the rest of the Nokia product portfolio.
The Nokia Lumia live session, which has obviously been in existence since last year?
Yes, it's over a year now, since last March. Yeah.
What has changed since the first launch, I think, in 2010 with Nokia Music?
Wow. So with Nokia, with Lumia live sessions, obviously having been around for a year and a half, it's a real test and learn thing. You know, these events are quite unique, and there's not a lot of precedent behind them. So we've kind of fine-tuned the artists that we work with. We definitely fine-tuned the flow of the shows. So we found that the content becomes a lot more engaging when it's not just about watching a gig on YouTube. It's actually about watching a narrative happen. So we definitely worked a lot with our partners, the Blogger Tech, to kind of bring some surprise and delight into the shows. And then things like branding, for example, like, how do you land the fact that this is not an existing gig that's been sponsored by Nokia. This has been created, specifically for this audience by Nokia, and yet not over-brand it to the point that it becomes kind of, a bit of a slap in the face. So we've kind of, we've definitely refined it as we've gone along. And with Nokia Music having been around for a while, and obviously iterated into Nokia Mixed Radio, which is our kind of online streaming service on the device. It really brings that notion of discovery to life. It's all about discovering new things you didn't know existed, and Lumia Live Sessions is about discovering bands you might not have heard of, and definitely in locations that you never thought could ever be a music venue. Yeah. So that's kind of, I guess, what's at the heart of it.
What would you see as Nokia's target audience? Because when I grew up, I had a 3210, I had a Snake, and it seems almost, as time has gone on, those consumers or customers have gone to other devices. So what do you now see as Nokia's actual main target audience?
Yeah, so we have a number of kind of consumer segments, and we have one that we really focus on called the core consumer, and the bullseye for that target audience is about 25 years old, generally kind of metro dwelling, and we really wanted to kind of look for people who reflect the kind of the Nokia challenger mentality, people that want to be a little bit different, but are also very, very influential. We know that peer recommendation is one of the biggest purchase drivers of smartphones, and we want to make sure that the people who their friends go to for advice on buying a smartphone are using a Nokia Lumia, and it's events like this which are a bit out of the ordinary that we can use to attract that kind of crowd.
Okay, so the Nokia Lumia live sessions, there's one happening, I think it's a couple of weeks.
Yep.
Would you want to tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so this one's very exciting. So we always try and land, kind of, the product has to play a role in this stuff, otherwise it just becomes a relatively shallow branding exercise. And we focus on things like low light photography, on kind of mixed radio playlists. One of the great things about mixed radio is that, unlike some other streaming services, you can still use it offline. So in the background over Wi-Fi, it will download playlists of artists that you like, and then you can play them offline. So I guess the challenge was, how do we bring that to life? So we're actually going to host an event with a band called Years and Years in a disused underground station. The Metro called the Nokia Lumia the True Commuter's phone, because of being able to use things like maps and music offline. So let's take the ultimate commuter environment idea, i.e. a tube station in Aldwych, and we're going to make it a music venue effectively. So a really intimate gig. Obviously, you're not going to get thousands of people standing around on the ground, but it'll be a really fantastic show. And it's good. And again, it lands that message of, if you travel and you would like listening to music, this is the device and this is the service that you need. What
is interesting is that I actually have the 1020, and I use all the services. I use the mixed radio, which is a fantastic addition. But the actual images, the pictures, when the phone was being created, was it always the focus of people using social media, Instagram, Twitter, to actually share images? Was that part of actually your branding and looking at how we can actually connect with the audience?
100%, yeah. So Nokia's always had a fantastic legacy in imaging. We really owned the first camera phones. We put the first megapixel camera on a phone, and N95 had 5 megapixels, and that was incredible at the time. And obviously launching a camera with 41 megapixels, it really moved the game on. So we want to continue to own that space, but ultimately, it's not about us taking great pictures, and yeah, the kind of pictures behind me are all taken on the device. We want consumers to take great pictures and be really proud of them, and to give them an environment like, you know, some of the venues that we've had these Lumia live sessions in like a lighthouse or a beach hut or a crypt, you know, or a boxing ring. We can give them these fantastic canvases, I suppose, to create great memories, and then yeah, share them on Instagram, on Facebook, on Vine, all those kind of different channels, and that's how the content gets out there. Yes, we do a lot of work behind the scenes to amplify it, but ultimately as consumers going, I was at this gig, and this is how I can prove it, kind of thing. So currency is really key.
Do you feel that now the phone market is wide open because Apple seems to be on the decline, and with Nokia rolling out more handsets, do you see that it's a chance to actually go back to being the number one?
There's massive opportunity for us, without doubt. Yeah, I think that, you know, we're very aware that there are two big dominant players in Apple and Samsung, but also there's opportunities. And as I said, with Windows Phone, and particularly the new iteration of Windows Phone, with our design, with our imaging, consumers are wanting, I believe, something a little bit different, and we've got a fantastic offering for that. So there's opportunities abound. You know, the British public love smartphones, and the best thing about Lumia is that we have a range of smartphones from £79 on prepaid with the 520 up to the 1020, the 1520 and beyond. So you haven't got to be a £500 iPhone buyer to get into the smartphone world, and we've got a kind of device for everyone. So that kind of portfolio and that scale does give us a really great opportunity to challenge the kind of incumbents, and yeah, get back to a more dominant market position.